Votre attention s'il vous plaît. IPTV Services. Tempo Afrique TV vous offre 6000 chaînes de télévision en direct de l'Afrique, de l'Europe et des États-Unis. Achetez maintenant avec 20% de remise jusqu'au 31 janvier 2023. Toutes vos chaînes de télévision préférées sous un seul toit. Achetez maintenant. Pour des informations, appelez le numéro suivant +1 612 804 02 95 ou allez sur notre site web tempoafrique.com. Recevez $20 de remise, including la boîte de télévision plus l'expédition. $173 pour toute l'année. $173 pour toute l'année.
Ladies and gentlemen, inventive youth of the African diaspora meeting King Burt. That's the topic today, and you are on Tempo Africa TV, the Pan-African TV by Africans for all Africans and Afro-descendants all over the globe. Meeting King Burt. King Burt. Who is King Burt? That will be our first question to this person that we know as a composer, artist, banking, and investment specialist. What else, King Burt? Who is King Burt?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. That's
Welcome.
great. Thank you. Who is King Burt? I ask myself that the same every single day. I get into the studio. I wake up every day. Long story short, King Burt is an influencer, a motivator, a father, a son, a lover, a person who's just every day trying to make a difference in this universe. Every day I figure out who I am myself, you know, that's the journey in life. But I make sure everything I do, I always influence the next person. So to answer your question, who is King Burt? I'm him.
Oh, glad we're delighted to have you on our show. What's up, Africa? Que fait l'Afrique? And we like that smile, by the way, because it brings joy to us on Tempo Africa TV. All of our viewers are excited, enthusiastic. Some of them, you know, if they're not caught up with what you're saying, they might decide to ask you a question. So be prepared. You never know. So our next question to you, King Burt. Let me make this brief comment first. You must have a royal blood because King Burt. And I'm researching your last name, and that last name means the king of the Olubis. That's king. So you're, but we'll come back to that. But the next question to you, King Burt, what's your perception of the world? I mean, your life philosophy as a Gen Z, Generation Z. What's your life philosophy? How do you see the world?
I see the world day by day. Ultimately, we live in crazy times. We live in good times. And ultimately, you know, my perspective in life is to always be you, you know, not worry about what anybody thinks. Just always be courageous, be brave, and find out your purpose in life through whether it's, you know, you like in computer, you like in music, you like in doing TV shows, just anything you like. Find your passion sincerely and hold on to your dreams and keep going.
That's beautiful. That's a really positive outlook, world outlook. And we appreciate that. We hope all members of your generation will listen to this and they will apply it to their own circumstances. So thanks for sharing that with us. Now, this is how we'll proceed. Moving forward, we have selected 3 audio clips by you that you composed. So we'll play them one after the other. And for each one of them, after playing them, you will explain what it means. What's the meaning of that song? You know, give us the surface meaning. That's when people listen to it the first time, what do they get out of it? and the deep meaning. It means the artist meaning of it that nobody, I mean, not many people actually get, because you guys, we have to maybe pick up the phone if we know you and say, what did you really mean in that song? That's what I'm calling here deep meaning. So the surface meaning and the deep meaning. And then the next thing is we'll comment on the creativity of it, because the title of the show is Inventive. You know, somebody who's ingenious, they have ingenuity, creativity. What's creative about it? And what does it contribute to music as an art? And how does it uplift members of your generation? So we'll be making comments and discussing all of those things, okay? So I'm sure the producer is ready, and he will kindly play the first audio. So viewers and listeners and those who are with us,
who you know's gonna love you like this? Who you know's gonna love you like this? Who you know is gonna give you this love? Nobody. Who you know's gonna hold you in trust? Who you know? Who you know? Nobody. Who you know's gonna love you like this? Who you know's gonna love you like this? Who you know is gonna give you this love? Who you know? I've been crying, I'm falling lately. I've been crying. Who you know's gonna love you like this? Promises and plans, thought we had an understanding. Pain wasn't part of the adventure. Now I guess we're landing. Situation kinda getting hot. Somewhere weather, I feel like I'm 10. I'm riding in a wave, but it feel kinda scary. Weight on my shoulder, it feel kinda heavy. Ain't chasing these hoes, ain't chasing these hoes, I'm just getting steady. Heavy loaded on rocks. Got my sister a Berkey. Elevation gets 30. Nancy's going crazy. My brother pockets never empty. I be thanking the Lord for saving me. Both of my brother's pockets ain't empty.
oh, so lovely. It's lovely music, lovely beat and rhythm. Well, I don't know what it is, but I know it's really, you were dancing and I was that rocks. Oh,
Hey.
King Burt. What's the title of that piece?
That is called Us.
Oh, that's called Us.
Us.
Okay, tell us about what's the first meaning of it, the surface meaning. Somebody listened to it. What's the first, when they scratch it like this, what do they see? What are we hearing?
Right. What you're hearing on the surface level is more so of a vibe that makes you connect and really think about, who out there loves you. At the end of the day, we wake up and we belong to someone. We belong from a bloodline. We belong from, a source, an energy. So us is, I created Us with the intentions of really having my fans connect to themselves and really ask themselves, their purpose. Like, who else is going to love you? We live in crazy times. And trust is key in this lifetime. And Us, I created to pretty much have people really think about who loves them.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that's surface meaning combined with a deep meaning?
Oh, the deep meaning, the deep meaning to it, when I was making Us, actually, it's a point in time where, we all go through life and we just think about our purpose, right?
Right.
And, I come from a very strong background, as you mentioned, with my last name. We come from very good, loving people that live intentionally. And I don't think people truly understand what that meaning is, right? A lot of us, we just wake up day by day, but we don't understand the meaning of living intentionally. One of my favorite quotes growing up, I always heard was, "There's no place like home." you know. And I come from a very educated background. I have awesome parents that truly, truly, woke up every day to make sure that I became who I am today. So us was more so of something I wanted to create for my family to listen to. And also, through that deep meaning, I wanted to also connect to my fans. So, in the song I reference, my sister, I reference my brothers, I reference my mom and dad. So us really collectively, is for people to really listen to and connect with the vibe of understanding that at the end of the day, there is no place like home. And the people that truly love you is your family.
Oh, you're a family person. Oh, that bless your heart, bless your heart. That make my day. Well, thank you so much. I hope everybody will appreciate this. And all those who don't believe that they belong somewhere, they should start believing to that you belong somewhere and start from home, your family. There's no place like home. I remember that. Oh, thank you so much. And now let's talk about the creativity because I think that's really I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, wicked good song.
Right.
So what's the creativity about this? What does it add to music as art?
Right. The creativity behind this song is, truly tapping into your inner self. When I make music, I don't just get behind the mic. It's always something, an experience near and dear to me.
Hmm.
Um, but obviously, I understand I'm also not only making it for myself, but making it for others people to connect with. But one thing I found out, through making music is to keep it true.
Right.
A lot of times as artists, we think about, oh, what's gonna sell, what's gonna chart, what's gonna make people go. But throughout my experience, I realized one of my best songs are the ones that really came from the heart. So as far as creativity, I just put 100%, realness in it
Wow.
and let, God take the rest.
That is true. And I'm glad you just mentioned God. It didn't come out of the blue. They did it. You must have some kind of background that, uh, helps you to connect with God, connect with the family, with home, and to trust yourself. And what comes out naturally from your mouth is what matters. And it's good that it's not commercial. Music is, you know, to transform your own life and transform your generation's life. And that's so good. That's so good. Good intention. And I really wish you the best. That's awesome, really. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Uh, now, how do you um, the rhythm, the beat? Where did you get that from? It's like it sounds unique to me.
Right. Yeah. So, I have an African background, right? I'm African,
Yeah.
actually from Benin. So, again, no place like home. A lot of, my music has a Afro, type style mixed with pop and a little bit of Americanized tone. Um, it's very unique sound. A lot of times I'm compared to different artists and stuff, but at the end of the day, like I previously said, it's a combination of everything I've learned and I've been around. You become a product in your environment, right? So um, everything you've been around, everything you've been through, and truly tapping in with your inner self. So that's where my sound comes from. I'm not trying to sound like anybody, even though I'm compared to, some of my pop songs, Lil Uzi Vert, um, and so many others. But I make sure I stay true to me. And, my personality itself, I'm super energetic, super hyped, really passionate. And that's what comes out to what you're hearing now.
Oh, thank you for those wonderful responses. And the last question on the clip is, how do you think this is gonna help uplift your generation instead of putting them down and depressing them? How would this type of, that song, the meaning, the deep meaning, how can that uplift them?
Right. Well, all of it falls under, my label, Inspired Vibes, which is an idea I had one day in my room. When I was 8 years old, just thinking about life and future and all that stuff. And I always knew I wanted to be great. I didn't know how. I tried sports, I tried different things. But one thing that really hit near and dear since I was a kid, my mom used to always sing to me. I used to always sing with my sister. It was music, I remember being on podiums with my older sister and singing. I was nervous, but, I saw how important it was to her for me to be on there on church. And I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. And that's when I finally fell in love with music. I loved the smiles that it brought upon people's faces. And I was honed on to that. And growing up and becoming my own person, I decided that, this is what I wanted to do.
Oh, that's cool. That's so cool. So, one thing you want to say to uplift your sister, or your brother, your mom, those who actually helped you be where you are today. Is that what do you think your music will uplift them as well? I know your parents are not, Gen Z. They don't understand what you folks talk about. So, do you
Absolutely.
have a word for them
Yeah.
before we move to the second audio?
Yeah. So with what I said, right, at the end of the day, we all have families. So I figured if I can connect through what's important to me, it's going to connect to what's important to other people. Because at the end of the day, we all have parents, we all have loved ones. And I can't think for the world, but I can think for myself. And I can't change the world, but I can start with myself. So as long as I focus on me, and stay true to me, there's 7 billion people in this world. There's gonna be some people that connect to it. And at the end of the day, I make music for me. It just so happened to connect to a lot of people.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for those beautiful words. You've been true to yourself. You're not faking it. You're being genuine, sincere. And that's what we love about you. Listen to some of your music, and that's what got us to your track. And then we say, oh, how about inviting this person? But we've been planning to do that for a long, long time. And the time is today. It's God's plan. Okay. So thank you. And our producer, by the way, is Sir Malik Sall from Senegal. He's very talented. He makes things happen. Without him, the world wouldn't be able to see you. Okay, they wouldn't be able to see that and hear the lovely things. So that's another beautiful piece, King Burt. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, you are on Tempo Africa TV. This Pan-African television for Africans by Africans. It's for you, all our viewers, those who have subscribed. Tell your friends to subscribe, to go like it, and then follow us. And yeah, you've always maybe wanted to meet King Burt. Thanks to our producer, Malik Sall, we made it happen today. Here is King Burt live on Tempo Africa TV. You see those numbers on our screen? If you feel like it, please call, dial. Those are WhatsApp numbers, and you'll talk to King Burt live. You have that privilege, that honor. We won't charge you a dime to talk to him directly and talk to him, ask him questions. He'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Okay, and we're coming back to the show here, King Burt, the second piece of music. What's the title? What does that mean?
Love Cycle. Love Cycle. When I was making this, I thought about different titles, but I ended up going with Love Cycle because in this piece, it goes through a time in my life, which, again, relatable. We all experience love. Um, you know, and love is something we all think we know, but do we really? You know, so Love Cycle just gives a snippet in time where, you know, we all go through relationships and break up. And although some people may not be good for you, um, you have to understand that they came into your life for a reason. In Love Cycle, I talk about how, regardless of trials and tribulations you go through, packing bags, leaving town, I'm still going to be the one to call. Still going to be the one to check up on you. We have to understand how to release people with love. Just because we're no longer in a relationship, and whether it be friendships, whether it be partnerships, whether it be marriage, it's important to still be kind to one another as humans. So pardon me if I'm talking fast. I'm stumbling all over my words. A lot of time when we're upset, when we're going emotional, you know, we don't think. So I'm stumbling all over my words, meaning what I'm saying may not come out the best, but my intention's always pure, and it's always love. So Love Cycle just pretty much, you know, throughout the whole song, it talks about a love cycle, you know, but the meaning behind the message is, hey, regardless of relationship breakups, still love one another, respect one another, because at the end of the day, we only have one life.
Yes, that is so true. I guess that's the deep meaning. You can't say better than that, because that's the artist meaning, love cycle. So if you see love cycle, maybe people may understand it being, okay, you start dating and then you go this, and maybe you go through, you break up, maybe blah, blah, blah. But it's more than that. It's the lesson to learn from, you know, the meaning of love. And if you think you know love, just think twice. You really don't know it until you experience it, and it pushes you through all the cycle. And you got to be wise. Is that true? That you got to be wise? You
Absolutely.
really do things wisely, not just the heart, but also the brain. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I've learned, I can't speak for anybody else, but I've learned it's a combination of both, you know, emotions and intelligence.
Yes.
Together, it's called emotional intelligence. And that's a attribute, a skill that I encourage everybody to really tap into and understand, because we all stress about the wrong things in life. It does not matter. We only have one life. So we need to understand that whether it's a breakup, it's hurtful, as painful as it is, we must not let that pain turn our pure intentions into malintentions. And that's where having emotional maturity and emotional intelligence really kick in, that because we can do it. It just takes a snap of a wrist to really, you know, really make a bad image for yourself. So yeah.
That makes sense to me. And you know, I'm a literary person. I'm a linguist. I'm not gonna get into Shakespeare. I believe you're not talking about the Romeo and Juliet type of love at first sight. You're certainly not talking about that. You're talking about deep and genuine love. That's what it is. But is there anything that people call love is blind, or blind love? Is there any such thing as blind love? Blind?
Absolutely. You know, love, I believe blind love is a,
Yeah. So we're talking to the artist here. Yeah. What's blind love?
yeah, um,
There's something happening with the connection. So we're talking about blind love here with our artist. His second clip is about love cycle. Okay. So let's go about this quickly. We'll get into
yeah,
the end of it anyway.
blind love. Yeah, with blind love, it's, you know, truly not understanding what your emotions are. you know. You're going with a feeling and not the understanding. So a lot of times you know don't have an understanding of a feeling that you admire. You tend to just go with what feels nice. A lot of times what feels nice isn't what is nice.
All right. Yes, that's very important. It feels nice doesn't mean it is nice, right? So that's why I like what you said, connecting the heart and then the brain, intelligence is very important. Okay, get to be able to make decisions because in that love cycle, there are important decisions to make, right? Oh, that's very beautiful. So now let's sum this up and say, what does this contribute to music and how does it uplift your generation? The same question as we asked before. Then we'll play the last audio and that will be at the end of the show today.
Sweet, yeah. Love cycle is just, you know, a refresher reminder of what we said previously, right? Of, you know, understanding that at the end of the day, you know, love is, it's not a feeling. You know, a lot of times we think love is a feeling. It's truly not a feeling. And again, this is my opinion, right? But it's more so of an understanding, you know, of understanding of one's value, one's purpose, you know, one's emotion, one's character. Because once you truly have an understanding of that, you tend to have more, you know, purpose, intentions of truly not hurting that person. So a lot of times I think the world is confused on what love is. And like I said previously, just because it feels nice doesn't mean it is.
It is nice. Yes. I like those words, King Burt. Yes, the world is confused about what love really is. It feels, because it feels nice doesn't make it nice necessarily. Connecting, you know, crossing the T's and connecting the dots. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So our lovely producer will now get us to the final clip. This is something else. Each music gives us a different beat, you know, and I like the way you dance to your own music. It's beautiful. It's like showing people how to dance to it because you created it. So wonderful. Again, what does that mean? What's the meaning of this piece?
Wygo, man. First off, shout out to my producer, right? Soul Looper. Shout out to, you know, Nami, Trevin, my team. This track and Zaytoven, actually, which is a famous producer of Usher, which also worked with several artists. But Wygo was more so a fun song. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you're looking clean, you got the tie on, you're fresh, you look good, you smell good, you know, you got the cut, you know. It's one of those like, yo, you just a flex song. Like, you just want to get on there and just show the world, like, what you got on, you know? It's just a vibe. And, you know, I was so glad to have Zaytoven come on this song with me. And it's actually one of my top songs right now. Short, simple, and it just gets you going. With Wygo, ultimately, it's like I said, it's a flex song. You know, we all want to look good. We all want to dress good, smell good. So it's a confidence booster. So every time, you know, I play this song, I want my fans and my viewers to really feel confident and, you know, uplift them. You know, every time you play that song, I don't know about you guys, but every time I want to go out, I got a party, you know, going to an event, a show, I'm playing Wygo because, I mean, I'm going on stage fresh. You feel me? So, like, that's just one of those songs.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. As we're getting to the end of it, but let me just ask this question. I will have myself to blame if I don't ask it before the end of the show. Born African on the continent of Africa, brought to America when you were very little, okay? And the people in Africa will see you and they will say, oh, maybe I don't recognize. Is that from Africa? That's so, it's Americanized. But we're living in difficult times, challenging times for all nations, including Africa, of course. And you've heard, through at least through our TV here, that we actually contributing to the education of the youth so that they can wake up and do better than we did before, better than our parents, our own parents did before, to liberate the continent. Not that we're still colonized, but liberating means acquiring sovereignty and be proud to be African, like James Brown and all the rest, and Brown and proud, etc., etc. So you did not come here as the son of a slave. You did not come here as somebody who was forced into exile. Your parents brought you here when you were so little, but you never forgot about Africa. You went back to Africa a number of times, as you told me, and you're proud to be African. How do you think the Africans back home should feel? Should they feel? Should they understand your music? Is it contributing to uplift them as well? Is that what it is? That Africa will never be the same again. It will be united. It will be stronger, and it will tell the rest of the world that Africa is the cradle of humanity, and the people of Africa are intelligent. They don't sleep in trees. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I'm a living proof. I like you said, I came here, I was 5 years old.
Wow.
I had access to a dream. The message I want to tell, to my people back home is dream big. Take your blessings, listen to your parents, but also formulate your own ideas. Find out your purpose. Yes, I'm African. People sometimes they think it's hard to believe, but I am. And I don't know if they noticed, but Afro is on the rise. We got Burna Boy, we got Wizkid, and we got me.
Wonderful.
And just long story short, dream big, live intentionally, and hold on to your roots, because you cannot fake what you're not.
Wonderful.
We get the misconception of we can come to the U.S. and become whatever the culture is, but the culture of the U.S. itself is a combination of multiple cultures.
Wonderful. That's wonderful.
How can one become multiple cultures, without having a mastery of its own culture?
Okay, wonderful. So came here when you were 5 years old, and you still remember you've been home at least back one time, or maybe at least 2 times, I believe. And you still remember people back home. So if you want to shout out to, who would you shout out to in Benin, in Africa? That's Akere, Jugu, or say something in African language. So let's hear it.
Oh, I mean,
just say something in African.
A lot of people, man, to the Dendi people, to the French people, there's a lot of lists of great people out there. I don't want to be unfair and not list some names, but I would say this: Africa is a great country and wonderful, genuine people that truly care about you and take you serious, and the true brotherhood, and at the end of the day, it's a long list of people that I can name, but they know who they are, and they support me every day in my music, and I just want to say shout out to them.
Yeah, so you've been to your dad's village in Kere, right?
Absolutely.
And you've been to your mom's town. What is it called? What is it called? Your mom's town?
So it's Jugu.
Jugu. Okay, can you say a word at least in Jugu language? Your mother tongue. Wonderful. Wonderful. That's beautiful. Now, your final statement. Final statement to your potential as well as your current followers, and tell them, what is your final word to them, how to uplift them, to encourage them, and where they should go or continue to go and enjoy your life transforming music, King Burt.
Right. Yeah. Guys, mes amis, merci beaucoup pour tout votre support. I couldn't have done this without you guys. Continue to dream big. For my new fans, you can follow me on Instagram at ikingburt, IKINGBURT. I'm also on all platforms, on Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube. I'm all over the world. I go by Louis Burt. That is my artist name. King Burt has just been the name that I'm known by through my social media pages. But Louis Burt is, like I said before, him. I'm him, and Burt is my name. So Louis Burt. You can find me on the internet, louisburt.com. Just Google, and say hi. I will respond to you. Shoot me a DM. I'm not too big to say hello. But most importantly, keep dreaming, keep being you. Don't let this world move you away from your purpose. Because at the end of the day, it'll be the same people that tell you you're not going to make it that come back and tell you, I knew you were going to make it. So.
Yes, you got that right. You got right. And that puts an end to this wonderful show. I wish we had more time to continue chatting with you. King Burt, you're really a king. You're a king. You're a king and continue to be king. Okay? Continue to be king, and that one day you show us the queen. Because where there's the king, there must be a queen. Okay, I'm not going there. That's your private life. But thank you for coming to our show and being very earnest here. Thank you sincerely. This made our day. It's been a delight talking to you live on TV. This is a live experience, the first time talking to you like this on TV. Oh, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. And thank you also to Malik Sal for making this happen. You see, it's on short notice, and he was on it as he always is, and he made it happen. He did the flyers, and boom, you are not a substitute. You are the real, the one, the number one, because God made it happen. Okay? Be blessed. Be blessed. And viewers and fans of Tempo Afrique TV and lovers and followers of What's Up Africa, Que fait l'Afrique, we thank you sincerely for your loyalty. Oh, there's nothing we cannot do to continue supporting you, artists, musicians, workers, inventors, technology experts, whatever you do, come to us and we'll help you get out there what you have as a message to the world, because you're contributing something. You're making things happen for your own self. But as you're doing it for yourself, believe it or not, you're doing it for your family. You're doing it for your community. You're doing it for the world. What you just want to do is just try and be a role model for someone else. Whether you have kids or not, you should be somebody to look up to. And thank you again, King Burt, for coming to our show. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show today. And we'll say goodbye. This is Dr. Balubi. Bye-bye.
Votre attention, s'il vous plaît. IPTV Services. Tempo Afrique TV vous offre 6000 chaînes de télévision en direct de l'Afrique, de l'Europe et des États-Unis. Achetez maintenant avec 20% de remise jusqu'au 31 janvier 2023. Toutes vos chaînes de télévision préférées sous un seul toit. Achetez maintenant. Pour des informations, appelez le numéro suivant +1 612 804 02 95 ou allez sur notre site web tempoafrique.com. Recevez $20 de remise, including la boîte de télévision plus l'expédition. $173 pour toute l'année. $173 pour toute l'année.